Hello guys, this is Vishad Dhanuka from Original Vishab. Today I'm here to talk about my suggestions to Sudha Murti and what I think as with her power and her influence she can do to really improve the welfare of children and my opinion and my version of what the censorship board she can put which will be helpful for making and improving the society better. So let's begin with it. The first thing I would like her to implement is the importance and put workshops, or maybe I would say like extracurricular course which is for sex education. I think it could be divided into two stages, whereas some basic information can be taught to you when you're in high school or you're about to have graduate high school, and the second portion of sex education can be taught to you when you are in university. I know some of the basic sex education has or have been taught during biology classes, because I've seen like even in my age there were very basic sex education tips that were given during biology classes, like they were very subtle information that were given. But I think there should be proper workshops or proper extracurricular sessions for the sex education. These things can include information of puberty, reproduction, consent counseling, healthy relationship counseling, communication, gender identity, sexual orientation, contraception, STI prevention, and the basic rights of kids, like what all rights they hold, what is the children's, like what's the POSCO Act hold, someone is misbehaving you, how you can tell your parents, and how these laws are protecting them, what's the how the POSCO Act protects children. I think they should have basic information of these kind of stuff. So if you all want to like implement this as a whole in high school, or if you want to implement it in college, you can, it's up to you. But I think this is a very necessary thing that should be implemented. These kind of workshops should be implemented, or like extracurricular sessions that be implemented. I've seen a lot of unnecessary curriculum that has been pushed in, that is psychological studies or this disaster management kind of stuff. But I think basic information is necessary, and I think these workshops or these extracurricular activities should not be based on how I have experienced. Like I've seen some of the people institutions have these kind of workshop, but they are like grade based. This is not about grading yourself based on knowledge. This is these extracurricular activities or these extracurricular sessions should be just for information and feeding you information. When everything becomes about grading and competition, it creates like a chaos and unnecessary stress for children. So that should be kept in mind. The other session that I think is to be taught is about mental health. There should be mental health counseling workshops as well, because I've seen a pattern in the modern generation, and mental health has become like mental health for the youth due to competition is deteriorating day by day, and like with every generation it's become worse and worse. And I think mental health counseling workshops should be there, and these workshops should work on learning what problems or difficulties the children are facing to make the education system better and improve it. Thing and last thing I would like to tell is like how Sudha Murthy has empowered women, how she has. I've started to read her what improvement works she has done in the field of education, rural development, healthcare, and disaster relief, women empowerment, and art and culture. I would like to see the same work in more educating more people about transgender, the concept of transgender. I've seen like in modern generation this there's a trend of slurs, and I think more and more like everything has become a slur. As I've said before in my past video, in the reservation video, we use casteist terms without even knowing those are casteist, because for us those are slurs. The same goes for the transgender slurs as well. The word hijra used to be a powerful word, because hijra used to be people whose blessing used to be considered as sacred or at the same level as blessing from a god. But nowadays, when I'm seeing like in modern generation, hijra has been used as a derogatory word. There's another word, I think chakka, which is also used as a derogatory term for these transgender people. So I think the modern generation, as I've said in the sex education video about sexual orientation and gender identity, is important. In the gender identity, I think talking about the history of transgender people in India, the importance of transgender people in India, and breaking all these stereotypes is important through the form of education. I think once the masses are educated, you all will be more informed and aware of this kind of stuff. My suggestion to Sudhamurti is to educate people on what is transgender and gender dysphoria, gender identity. That's why it's important, which is also part of sex education. But I would like to suggest Sudhamurti to empower transgender people, whether transgender man or woman, the same way she empowered women, because these are the people in the society which have been suppressed time and time, and the stereotypes that about them have been keep growing, and some people make a living out of the stereotypes. Some people scam people based on the stereotypes because they are you cannot identify who's actually a transgender, who's going through gender dysphoria, or who's just doing it to just make money. So this is a very big problem. So educating about transgender and gender dysphoria is very important in my opinion. And that's all the 3 points I like to keep. And as far as the censorship comes to place, as I've said before, if you have a censorship board, and you should have people from all walks of life, and all of the people should be a parent or as a person who has faced problems through as a child. I think if you're a victim and has faced problems as a child, you all can give a better input about how people have exploited children. Which is true, children are being exploited in social media and other industries. In the modeling industry, they have been exploited. In the entertainment industry, been exploited. Whether it's, as I've said before, there's always a gray area when children have been exploited by their guardians and their parents, because in this gray area where you don't where so for example, the grace of the grace area is family vlogging. When you're family vlogging, you cannot see the lines where what is exploitation and what, because when it's an obvious content where you can see that the children are being exploited, where I said the modeling in the child modeling industry, which is very like prominent, you can see like how they have been used to cater to what kind of people. When it comes to vlogging, I think the lines are very gray, where you don't know which person is actually exploiting them, or which person is just doing their job, or just they have a hobby or passion for like vlogging. So that's a very gray area where I cannot comment which particular channel is doing it, which particular channel is not doing it. Some places it's very obvious. Some places, when they say social media, she also includes Facebook and Instagram Reels. And its children are used to promote some gambling stuff. Sometimes they used to promote adult stuff as well. If you've seen these OnlyFans models back like here, you'll see that they're promoting their stuff with people that are 17 and 16, which is kind of disgusting in my opinion. I think the platform should have taken action against them long time ago. But I think by the time making the video, like it's been like almost like 2 years since I think that the last topic came up. They might have improved it. If they've not improved it, let me know in the comment section below if they're still doing it. And I think that when it comes to censorship, obviously there's not going to be only censorship for children. I think you should also work for censorship where women are affected, where minorities are affected, and this council of censorship board should be separate and not be affiliated with any political party or any political member. And this should be a completely made organization which includes civilians who are educated in this field or who has experienced trauma in their childhood, which can give input on that. That the experts should be at least a parent before giving their opinion. Like if I think when you are a parent, you feel the responsibility and you can give better input on how you want your child to grow up. And that's that. And I think there should be equal representation of from both sides, both the man and women. And that's that. But as I've said before, my concerns are, as I've seen in the past as well, BJP exploiting loopholes from the censorship slash I would say surveillance laws. So my thing is, once they have already they have acquired vote from everywhere, local parties are doing shit, and but despite how much I want to criticize BJP, they have to acknowledge the fact that they have pushed some good deeds, and these good teams might earn them the seat. And once they have the seat, once they have this monopoly, they will have no incentive to work harder. And these so-called censorship laws, once used to protect the children or the citizens, will be used against us to suppress our voices. I've seen that prominently in China, which is a completely government controls everything. Or you can see North Korea. North Korea is a very extreme case where places like China, North Korea, where the voices have been suppressed if you say anything about the government, even if it's local government. So I think when you've been implementing a censorship board, I think you come with these kind of risks. But anyways, if you feel like it that we really need a censorship board for this kind of stuff, go ahead for it. Or any party, let's just not put BJP in the spot. Any party which will have a monopoly has created problems. You can check the Congress history, you can check BJP. So I think when there's friction between opposition and the current party, there is progress. But when there will be monopoly, there will be no incentive for growth, and these policies that we were made once to protect us will be get exploited. And that's my worst fear. But anyways, if you're good with it, I'm good with it.